I will look for investigating now. Go back to your what? We don't want to. I want to give you credit on my credit card. You're calling me racist because I am white.
When people think of the KKK, they often picture angry men with shaved heads and crude tattoos. However, it's important to remember that evil knows no gender. Women can be just as vile, sometimes even more so. Take this one, for example. She was responsible for the deaths of 10 innocent people. Another murdered a defenseless woman and had the audacity to claim self-defense. And believe it or not, one of them was only recently convicted for her crimes dating back to the Holocaust. In this video, we will examine female KKK members and the punishments they received in court. Beate Zschäpe is a German far-right extremist and a member of the National Socialist Underground, NSU, a neo-Nazi terrorist organization. Her involvement in far-right politics began around 1991 when she met Uwe Mundlos, the son of a computer science professor at the Jena University of Applied Sciences. She formed a relationship with him and became involved in Jena's neo-Nazi underground, where she also befriended Uwe Bernhardt, whose parents were a teacher and an engineer. Between 2000 and 2007, Zschäpe and her two associates were responsible for at least 10 murders, killing 8 Turkish immigrants, a Greek man, and a German police officer. They also carried out 2 bombings in Cologne and robbed 15 banks. On November 8, 2011, Zschäpe attempted to turn herself in by calling the police, but the officer did not recognize her. A few hours later, she arrived at a police station in Jena with her lawyer. German authorities officially began investigating her as a suspected terrorist on November 11, 2011. On November 8, 2012, the Attorney General charged Zschäpe and 4 others for their involvement in multiple crimes. She was accused of aiding in the murders of 9 people, 8 of Turkish origin and 1 Greek, along with 2 bomb attacks in Cologne's historic district and the Milheim area. Additionally, she was charged with setting fire to an apartment in Zwickau, which resulted in the attempted murder of a neighbor and 2 workers, along with significant property damage caused by arson. Zschäpe faced multiple charges, including 10 counts of murder, arson, multiple robberies, extortion, and forming and being a member of a terrorist organization. Her trial began on May 6, 2013, at the Higher Regional Court in Munich, drawing significant media attention. More than 800 witnesses and over 40 experts were questioned during the trial. In December 2015, after remaining silent for more than 2 years, Zschäpe finally spoke out. She denied being a member of the NSU, despite her close connections with its members. She claimed she did not agree with their actions and apologized to the victims' families, expressing guilt over her inability to stop the murders and bombings carried out by Mundlos and Bernhardt. On July 11, 2018, Zschäpe was found guilty of 10 murders, membership in a terrorist group, and arson. She was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. She later appealed the sentence, but on August 19, 2021, the federal court upheld her life sentence and denied her appeal. As shocking as Zschäpe's crimes were, the next woman takes cruelty to an even more horrifying level. She didn't just kill, she murdered her own teenage grandson and then had the audacity to claim self-defense in court.
No, what I've done.
Sandra Lane was charged with second-degree murder for killing her 17-year-old grandson, Jonathan Hoffman, on May 18, 2012, at their home in West Bloomfield Township, Michigan. Lane claimed she shot Hoffman in self-defense during a fight, but the jury did not believe her. Key evidence included a chilling 911 call in which Hoffman pleaded for help as she shot him again. Initially, Lane was charged with murder and the use of a firearm in the commission of a crime, charges that could have resulted in a life sentence. The prosecution argued that she had ample time to reconsider before firing additional shots, making it an intentional killing. Lane's attorney, Jerome Sabat, countered that she felt trapped in her own home and that a lengthy prison sentence would effectively be a death sentence for her. Hoffman had been living with his grandmother during his senior year of high school because his parents were in Arizona, caring for his sister who had a brain tumor. He had a history of drug use and tested positive for synthetic marijuana on the day of the shooting. Lane's husband, Fred Lane, testified that while his wife and grandson frequently argued, there was never any physical altercation between them. He had been out walking the dog when the shooting occurred and was shocked to learn that Lane had purchased a gun. After the shooting, Lane turned herself in at her front door, where police found a firearm with blood on it. She had blood on her hands and clothes and was visibly distraught, admitting that she had just shot and killed her grandson. Following the tragedy, Hoffman's estate filed a $1 million wrongful death lawsuit against Lane and her husband. Lane's daughter, Jennifer Hoffman, pleaded with the judge for no leniency, calling her mother pure evil.
Sandra Lane is pure evil.
and if given the opportunity, would surely kill again. She has no remorse or conscience. Her only concerns are for herself. Elaine deserves the maximum penalty allowed. Please do not show mercy on her.
Lane was ultimately convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to a minimum of 20 years in prison, along with an additional 2 years for the gun charge.
Why did you keep shooting on the charge of homicide, second-degree murder, that you served 20 to 40 years on state prison mission?
While Lane attempted to justify her crime with a self-defense plea, the next woman didn't even attempt to make excuses when confronted about her blatant racism. She didn't just stand her ground. She doubled down without a hint of remorse.
I won't give you credit on my credit card. You're calling me racist because I am white.
Rita Bellew, a 55-year-old woman from Hatboro, Pennsylvania, was charged with hate crimes following an outburst at a pizza shop. The incident occurred on February 23, 2023, at Amy's Family Pizzeria in Hatboro. Bellew got into an argument with Omar Khan, one of the pizzeria's owners. The confrontation, which was recorded by an employee, shows Bellew angrily questioning Khan about why Spanish was being displayed on the TV. Other customers in the restaurant also recorded the incident. The video shows Bellew yelling at the staff with racist and offensive remarks before turning her anger toward other patrons. Bellew has apologized for the incident, stating that she is profoundly sorry. She described herself as a conservative, but not necessarily a Trump supporter. She also mentioned having family ties to immigrants, including grandparents from Ireland and a best friend from Puerto Rico. In December 2024, Bellew was sentenced to 90 days of probation, 8 hours of community service, and was ordered to write an apology letter to Amy's Family Pizzeria. As part of a plea agreement, she pleaded guilty to harassment, and the ethnic intimidation charge was dropped. Additionally, she is required to stay away from the restaurant. Bellew's case may be recent, but the next woman's crimes are straight out of the history books. She wasn't just a witness to the horrors of World War II. She was directly involved. Harold Ferner, a German woman, was found guilty of aiding the Nazis in the murder of thousands at the Stutthof concentration camp during World War II. She was charged with 11 counts of being an accessory to murder and 18 counts of being an accessory to attempted murder. Ferner worked as a secretary for Paul Werner Hoppe, the camp's commandant, overseeing letters, documents, and lists of individuals marked for death at Stutthof. Approximately 65,000 people perished at Stutthof, including Jews, Polish non-Jews, Soviet soldiers, and other targeted groups, such as Polish officers and intellectuals. Ferner's trial took place in a juvenile court in Itzehoe, Germany, as she was only 18 when the crimes occurred. The trial lasted 40 days, with short 2-hour sessions due to her advanced age. Experts detailed daily life at Stutthof and explained how Ferner's clerical work contributed to the processing of prisoners.
We analyzed all the documents which still exist from the concentration camp, and we searched for her signature and her initials, which was an incredible amount of work which had to be done. You can't compare that to the trials against concentration camp watchguards.
Survivors and their families also gave testimony, including 84-year-old Joseph Salomoni, who survived Stutthof and traveled from the Czech Republic to testify. Judge Dominic Gross stated that Ferner was aware of the terrible conditions prisoners faced at Stutthof and could have quit at any time. During her trial, Ferner attempted to flee from her retirement home but was caught in Hamburg after a few hours. She later apologized, saying, "I'm sorry about everything that happened. I regret that I was at Stutthof at the time. I can't say anything else." Her lawyer, Wolf Moulton, argued that Ferner was unaware of what was truly happening at Stutthof and was merely one of several typists in the office. He also cited her old age and declining health, claiming that the case against her was unfair. Despite this, Ferner was found guilty and sentenced to a 2-year suspended jail term.
I believe that it's very important for the survivors, but also for everyone today, that this trial ended with a verdict. I believe the sentence is adequate, but what's important is that there was a sentence in the first place which ruled that she's guilty.
The German federal court upheld Ferner's conviction in August 2024. Ferner may have tried to hide her racism, but the next woman didn't even pretend. She was caught on camera in full display, even flashing a weapon at her victims as if she had nothing to lose. Amber Rocco, a 39-year-old woman, was arrested for a hate crime after threatening a black family with a knife and using racial slurs against them on Christmas Eve in 2018.